Welcome and hello. This is a video lesson on the HEC RAS controller. We're going to be talking about plotting procedures, the plots associated with steady flow. And what I have on the screen already is my HEC RAS. I've got a simple model. In this model, we're going to be looking at a few different plots. So we're going to look at the cross-section plot. These are available after you've set up the model, you ran the model with a geometry file, a flow file, a plan. And then if you go up to the view menu, you can now see a number of the different plots available for you to view the results. So like I mentioned, the ones that we're going to be covering in this lesson are the cross-section, water surface profile for water surface elevation, and then the general profile plot, rating curve, and XYZ perspective plot. All right, so these are the plots. Let's go ahead and take a look at the model first and the model details in case you're interested in replicating this example. So I have a single river, a single reach. This model is using SI units, metric units. So set your model to that. I'm going to click on the cross-section data. And then boom, here is river station 200. Here is the cross-section data at river station 0. So we have an invert of 75 meters. It's 30 meters across. This is the cross-section at river station 50, 100, 150, and 200. As you can tell, I have results for 5 different flow profiles. So let's go ahead and bring up the flow data now. Edit, steady flow data. We have the 5 profiles listed here. The flow rates range from 20 cms up to 300 cms, and you can see that I've named the flow profiles based on their flow rate. The boundary condition is 1%, which is the downstream boundary condition is normal depth set to 0.01. All right, so after we run the model, which I've already done, we can go up to view and let's take a look at the cross section first. So this is the cross section plot view for a 1D model. You've probably seen this before. If you don't see all the profiles and you want to see them or just control which profiles you're seeing, you can go up to options and then profiles. And then you can clear them all. You can select just 1, 3, and 5, and then click OK. So now I'm only seeing those 3 flow profiles. The name of the profile has not been updated, so I think I need to actually run the model to make that happen. 1 second. Okay, so that ran. Let's go ahead and take a look at that cross-section view again. All right, now the legend has been updated with the profile names. All right, so the second plot we're going to be looking at using the VBA controller after we do the quick sample or tour here in the GUI is the water surface elevation profile. That's this one right here. So I have the same 3 flow profiles. We can also change that right here. Boom and boom. Now all 5 are listed. Let's just stick with that. Let's keep all 5 up on the screen. All right, the third plot now is view and general profile plot. What we're seeing here is similar to what we had before, except now we can select the variable. It looks like the current variable is the channel velocity. And then here are the 5 different flow profiles. So if I wanted to change the variable, I can go up to options, plot variables. And then on the right here, I have the option to select whichever variables I want. There's actually no flow in the left and right overbank. So this is the velocity in the main channel. And yeah, we can leave it at that. It could get pretty busy with 5 profiles already loaded. So we have the flow rate in meters per second, ranging from about 1.7 up to 3.9 almost. And a couple more results is the rating curve. So this is the rating curve. It's going to have the 5 different points ranging from 20 cms up to 300 cms. So if you want to have a rating curve, you'd have to have multiple flow profiles so we can get a data point on each one of them. This happens to be at river station 200. So this would be the rating curve at river station 0. You can change that. In fact, let's go ahead and keep it at river station 0. So that'll be our cross section of interest for the specific plots that are cross-section specific. The profiles are not cross-section specific. You're going to see the entire reach length from 200 meters down to the 0-meter river station. However, for some other plots, like the cross-section and the rating curve, those 2 are specific to the cross-section. All right, the last one is 3D view, but XYZ perspective plot is what appears on my screen, or it defaults to that. So boom, here's that. This is the one where you can kind of change the angle of the perspective. So this is the plan view looking straight down. This is more from the ground view, if you will. We can also rotate it. And yeah, those are the 5 plots that we're going to bring to screen using the HEC-RAS controller. So let's open up Microsoft Excel. I'm calling this file controller.xlsm. So it's saved as a .xlsm macro supported file. You can make that selection right here, Excel macro enabled workbook. I've already done that though. So go ahead and click on the developer tab. If you don't have that, you can open up the options, or if you don't see options, click more options and then customize ribbon. Click here, click on the developer tab, check that checkbox on, and then click OK. All right, anyway, with developer on, click on Visual Basic. Now, the first thing I like to do is make sure that the HEC-RAS reference is included. So go up to the Tools menu and then References. And it looks like for me it's not included yet, so that's something I need to do. Scroll down to HEC, which here it is for me, and then just click the checkbox next to the version of HEC-RAS that you have installed on your computer and you want to be using for the HEC-RAS controller. All right, I'm going to double click on sheet 1 and just insert my code right here. Before we do that, let's take a look at the classes for the HEC-RAS controller, the classes, the procedure list, specifically the list of plot procedures available to us. So I'm going to click on View and then Object Browser. And then up here in this filter, click on RAS and then the version. For me, it's 6.6, so RAS 6.6. Click on the HEC-RAS controller class and then scroll down to the plotting procedures, which occur right after the plans. So this is the first plot procedure on the list, and it goes all the way down to plot XYZ. So plot hydraulic tables. Some of these are not going to be covered in this lesson, but 5 I mentioned are, and that is plot PF. That will plot the profile of the water surface elevation. This is the general profile plot for, like we saw the one for velocity, where we could choose the variable. Plot rating curve, we'll talk about that. And then rating curve, for instance, you can see it actually takes 3 different parameters. It's the name of the river as a string, the name of the reach as a string, and then the river station number as a string. So keep that in mind. When you're thinking numbers, you're typically thinking long, single, or double. But in the case of this particular parameter, and a few of the other plotting parameters, river station is actually a string. We're also going to be using these last two. We're going to demonstrate the plot XS, which is the cross-section results, and then plot XYZ is that XYZ perspective plot. So in the case of plot XS, it needs a river station, but in the case of plot XYZ, it doesn't. It just needs the river name and the reach name. All right, let's go ahead and get to the code. So I'm going to close that up, add in the subroutine. This subroutine is going to plot the cross section. So what I'm doing at the very top is I am creating a HEC-RAS controller, and then I'm passing it to a subroutine I also need to paste in. In fact, let's put this at the top. So this is what I just pasted in. It's going to set the HEC-RAS controller by reference. So this is the particular file path to the .prj HEC-RAS file. And then I'm going to open it up right here. I'm passing this variable con by reference. So that's what's happening here. That way, this con object can be used a little bit later, which is right here. This is going to open up the plot XS procedure to open up the cross section, placing it the river name, reach name, and the river station as a string. You can see the river station is defined as a string, and I've put it in quotes as a string variable. All right, so when I run this, I should be able to see the plot of the cross section here in the screen. So let's give that a shot. I'm going to hit save, put my cursor right here in the plot. Let's as subroutine run and run. All right, and here is the results. This is the exact same plot that we saw when we were in HEC-RAS and we went to the view menu and cross sections. So now I've got it twice. Obviously, you can modify your options once it's open. But yeah, that's how to invoke the plot for the cross-section results for the current plan that's loaded in this HEC-RAS project. The next plot, I'm just put this down here, is going to be the water surface elevation profile. This is the primary profile plot that's viewed. So I'm calling it plot profile WSEL. And then just as before, I'm going to create the HEC-RAS controller, set it to our project, And then this is pretty much the same as before. The only difference is the procedure name is going to be plot TF. And then instead of passing it the river name, reach name, and river station, I'm only passing it the river name and reach name. And those are the exact same as before. So if I go ahead and save and run this one, let's see what happens. Right here is the profile plot showing the water surface elevation for our 5 different steady flow profiles. Very cool. Now, one more thing that I want to do, I've got 3 more plots to show you, but I wanted to add a interface to the Microsoft Excel worksheet, not a form, but a worksheet, so that we can control the display of these plots using a user interface, not just having to go into the code and then run it as if we were debugging or something. All right, so what I'm going to do is have a list box to list out the different plots that we want to plot, and then the button to actually invoke the subroutine to bring that specific plot to the screen. And then somewhere else, I'm going to have a list of those plots. So let me just kind of do that first. I'm going to call this cross section. And then the second plot I'll call profile, water surface elevation. Okay. So that's all we have for now. Next, I'm going to go up to, if you click on the developer tab and then insert, and then one of these is a list box. So that's a combo box, checkbox, spinner. I think this might be the list box. Yep, it is. All right, so we'll just go ahead and sketch a list box maybe right there. And then a title, I'm going to say, how about select plot? Okay, and then we're going to right click, format control, and then the input range for this list box is going to be right here. So let's do that and click on OK. All right, so here are the different items right here in the list box. There's cross section and profile, water surface elevation. I'm going to just move this a little bit over. And something else I need to do is add a button to actually bring the plot to screen. So clicking on it is not enough. Could actually assign a button click. I believe a list box item click event exists, but people may click the wrong one, so they want to make sure that they click the correct one before actually clicking on a button that says show the plot. So let's do that. Let's make a button right here. I don't have a macro to assign to it yet. We'll come back to that. So I'll click on cancel, which means cancel the assignment macro, not cancel the button creation. And I'll just say show plot. Okay. So first we select the plot from the list box, and then we click on the show plot button right there. There is an event handler for clicking the button and showing the plot by grabbing the specific plot from this list box. Let's see, this is list box 1, so that's fine. Let me go back to the VBA code. At the very bottom, I'll make some more room. And show plot is the subroutine I just added here to the script. And what it's going to do is get the selected value. I need to change this to list box 1 because that's the name. Sheet 1 is the name of the worksheet. List box 1 is the name of the list box. I'm going to get the selected value if a selection has been made. And then with that selected value, I'm going to search for its actual value and then call either plot XS or plot water surface elevation profile. Okay, so I think that is good to go. Just a general switch statement here, or it's called select case statement in VBA. Let's go ahead and save that. Let's go back to Excel. Okay, I made the button a little bit bigger. One more thing we need to do is actually assign that subroutine to this button click. So assign macro, and that is going to be show plot. So sheet1.show plot, and okay. I'm going to click off. Let's go ahead and give that a try now. So let's select cross section and show plot. And then boom, here is our plot. Very nice. Let's close that. Now let's select profile, water surface elevation, and show plot. And boom, there's the plot. We could actually be able to also bring out both plots at the same time. So cross section, show plot. So we got both plots on the screen right here. All right, let's go ahead and knock out the 3 other plots. While I'm on this screen, I'm going to go ahead and just paste in the values for those 3 other plots. So they're going to be profile, general, and then rating curve. And the last one is going to be XYZ perspective plot. Now the list box hasn't updated, so I need to update the range. So let's go right click, format control, and then just increase this range to all 5 of our plot labels. Okay, boom, that's ready to go. Now we still only have it working for 2 of the plots, so let's fix the switch statement, which should be right here. So I'm just going to update two cases with 5 cases total. All right, so we have the 3 new cases, the 3 new selections from the list box, but now we need to actually create those subroutines to plot profile general, plot rating curve, and plot XYZ. So I do have those prepared. Let me go ahead and just make room for them right here and paste. So I just pasted in those 3 subroutines. Plot profile general. This is using the controller dot plot EF general procedure, and we're passing in the river name and reach name. Next down, I also pasted in plot XYZ. So we're getting the controller object, and then we're using the plot XYZ procedure, river name and reach name as strings. And then the last one here is the plot rating curve using the plot rating curve procedure. And then we're passing it the river name, reach name, and the river station as string variables. All right, I think that's all we need to do. So let's give that a shot. So save, back to Excel, using the user interface. Let's go with profile general, click on plot, and boom, here's our general profile plot. At this point, we can modify which profiles we're looking at. We can modify specific variables. We've already talked about that. Let's go to the next plot here, which is rating curve. So click on rating curve, show the plot. Here is the rating curve. This is the river station 0, but we can change that there if we want. And then finally, XYZ perspective plot, click on show plot. And then I get this little pop-up box that asks me if I want to use the classic viewer, I believe is what it is. And then boom, here is that view we saw before when looking at this particular plot in the GUI. So you can change the different angles that you're looking at the plot. This is not specific to one river station. We're seeing the entire reach length in this plot, as well as the 2 profile plots. Yeah, cross-section and rating curve are both cross-section specific. So that's it for this lesson. We talked about plotting these 5 different plots using the HEC-RAS controller. These were the plots for steady flow, which include the cross-section, the rating curve, 2 profile plots, and this XYZ perspective plot.